Hey, everybody. Welcome. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Let's see here. Let's get the ladies all up. So yesterday, Kristen and Becky and I got to the shop and we got everything cleaned up from the Run for Recovery and repacked and sent off to storage for next year. One little note, there is a jacket, an extra large jacket. It looks like kind of a nice jacket. If you're missing a jacket, it looks like a man's jacket. If you're missing a jacket, let us know. And then there's a big, huge folding chair in like a camping bag, and it's really big. So if you're missing that, be sure and let us know. Send us a message. I've got Deanna's umbrella set aside. I think the Penningtons got their stuff. So I think that's it. I think there's just two things. So if those are yours, do let us know. And I think Becky had a few announcements about the Run for Recovery, just more stuff. So Becky, you want to tell them we got some extra sponsorship since we reported last week. So I'll let Becky tell everybody the good news.
We did. And you might have to fill in, Angie. You might have to fill in a little bit. But oh yeah, we had another donation of like $2,500 as a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name.
Linda Westcott. The Westcott.
Yes. Yeah.
They're a family of ours. And they just surprised us with that. So
that was so nice.
Yeah.
That means like 15 sponsorships for the Run for Recovery.
Yeah.
That's a record.
It is. It's a record for any of our events ever. So yeah.
I mean, y'all just really showed up. I was blown away. We were just totally blown away. We were hoping to do 15,000, which was less than our first one, but we've exceeded the first one by almost double. I think we're didn't you say maybe 29?
I think we've hit 30 now. So we've hit 30,000 after expenses and everything. So our goal was 15. We doubled it. So
thank you, everyone. Yeah. I mean, if you're on here and you were a sponsor or you showed up and you registered, thank you so much. I mean, you have no idea after COVID what this is really going to do for Battlefield and the families that call every week. Thank you so much. So really, honestly, if you signed up and you gave us your email, you should have got a couple announcements. And one of them is that we're going to be doing a discount for 2023 that you can sign up and get 2022 prices, because with everything going up, that's been kind of an issue. Is like the numbers just keep going up for everything, as you guys know, with supply chains and the cost for everything. So we don't know what the price is going to be for next year. So we wanted to give people an opportunity. If you want to register early, you should have gotten an email. So check your email inboxes and see, and there's a link there. And I think Angie also shared it on the Run for Recovery page, right? So
yes, and I just shared it. Yes, and I just shared it in the chat box as well.
You did? Okay, great. So click on that. You can register for 2022 prices for $35. So do it now while you can. And then also we got Tough Mudder coming up in September. Is that right?
It's September 25th.
So we shared the link for that. And we also shared about saving the date for our auction, which is in October. And that's the 22nd of October. So we're really excited about that. So check that out too. And then, am I forgetting anything else? Oh, Mom's Coffee tomorrow. Mom's Coffee, 11 o'clock tomorrow, Zoom. So fun. You guys, what a great group of ladies. We had so much fun getting ready for the Run for Recovery. We had so many people show up and help out. And it's just such a great group of ladies. So if you can be there on Zoom, 11 a.m. on Wednesdays, you can message me, you can message Angie or Kristen. We'll give you the link. Come join us.
Please join us.
Oh, we're called the Mob, by the way.
The Mom's a Battlefield, but it's for all ladies.
Yeah.
So
I want a shirt.
But the Mob rules.
I want a t-shirt.
You want a t-shirt that says Mob rules.
Yes. Maybe. Well, we've got that on the list. We have that on the list.
Actually, just make it a sweatshirt. I'm going all in now.
Oh yeah.
Okay, sweatshirt. Okay, we'll have it all. Speaking of that,
Kristen has to talk about the gear next, right?
Yeah, and I just want to second everything that Becky said about thank you for the participation. Thank you for everything you guys did for the 5K. It was wonderful. It just kind of generated a bunch of excitement for the rest of our events that are coming up. So I'm super excited about that. And that graphic that Angie created about the mob, can you put that back up, Nico? Is that too hard to do? Oh, it's kind of in the back. There. That graphic is exactly how much fun we have, you guys. Look at all the smiles and the yoga and Angela up there. It's just so much fun. You guys have to join us. And again, contact one of us for the link to that. Also, gear. I keep promising you. I have a meeting tomorrow with the gear girl. Hopefully the gear store will be up next time we meet. We got great stuff, some standards, and some new kind of different looking stuff. So I'm pretty excited about it. So we have water bottles. I think I showed you last week, but we have water bottles. I don't have it up here. Those are really cool. So hopefully Gear Store will be up by next Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you know.
We'll announce it when it is. I have my gear on tonight.
Oh, nice.
We'll announce it when it is, and then we'll figure out what date the deadline is so we can get the orders back, because once we place the orders, then it'll take a little time, but we'll announce all that hopefully by next week. And then
I've looked at the water bottles, you guys, and you can put coffee in there too. And you can't get this baby right here, but it's almost as good.
It is pretty cool. I wish I had
It is
mine.
Great.
Yeah.
And it is hot or cold.
Okay, awesome. I got one more thing, and I asked Carrie, I asked Carrie Burrows to pop in. So our next group coaching is coming up next week, Wednesday, the 25th. And Carrie joined us a few weeks ago at her very first group coaching ever. And so as a new person, I know there's so many people out there that like have no clue anything about group coaching, or why should they even come, or if it's for them. And I just know that she really enjoyed herself. So I just said, hey, would you just share what you enjoyed? So Carrie, tell them a little bit about group coaching from your experience.
Well, I guess what I thought was great about it is we covered such a variety of things. It's always good listening to Art give his perspective on his journey, his family's journey, and relating it back to all of us. And then the mood of the room was phenomenal. I walked out of there. I literally walked out of there as happy and as joyful as I could. My cup runneth over after that, and it was just a great feeling. We had all tenures within the Battlefield family. We've had folks that have been with the group for 5 or 6 years, and then we had a couple of new families. And the art of possible, I hope, showed through as far as where Battlefield takes the families. It was an inspirational night. It was a blast.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
Highly recommend. If I didn't have a 3.5 hour drive, I'd be there every Wednesday.
Yeah, totally. So next Wednesday, the 25th. Now there's no charge for group coaching or anything like that, but you do have to register, because we do limit the number of seats, because we do like keeping it, kind of a small group. And so we limit the number. So you do want to register. You just go to our website. I'll put it in the chat when I can get a moment to type and not be distracted, but battlefieldaddiction.com on our website. It's always available. You just click on services, and then you click on group coaching, and it's always going to have the current link and the next date on that. So just get your registration spot so we know to expect you. Please join us. It starts at 6 o'clock. We go 6 to 8:30. So it's a 2.5 hour deal. The time flies by. And the beautiful thing about that, when she speaks about the energy in the room, it really is just such a nice energy. And it's so nice to have open, just everybody gets to share. That's kind of the opportunity, like solution groups, everybody's all quiet. It's like we hear this message and we just don't we're just sitting with it for a bit and we process it during group coaching. That's really the interactive group. So it's really nice. And just like she said, for brand new people on up to people who've been around for 8 years. And it's just really a great energy. So we just invite you all. You're all invited. So please sign up. Couples, singles, you're all invited. So, all right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. And let's move it on over to the group room. Let's remove all these spotlights and get everybody muted. And I don't know if we're going to talk about the crew yet or wait till after comedy. So let's just go on over to comedy and then we'll let Art kind of tell a little bit about the rebuild crew when we're ready for that. But let me finish getting them spotlight. Okay, very good. We're ready. Kyle's Comedy Corner. If you're new tonight, which I do see a Pam Wright out there that I haven't met yet. Hi, Pam. Welcome. This is Kyle. He's a manager over at Rebuild Recovery, and he brings us some humor to start out our evening every week. So take it away, Kyle.
Okay. My mic good?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. I'm not sexist. Because being a sexist is wrong, and being wrong is for women. Sad news, my overweight parrot just passed away. It's a big weight off my shoulders. But I'm going to be buying a new one because I hear they're pretty cheap. My buddy just lost his job milking cows. They say he's a danger to himself and others. My ex-girlfriend became fed up because of all my constant dad jokes. I said, well, I have a problem. How can I stop? She says, whatever means necessary. No, it doesn't. There are actually people out there that are addicted to losing body parts. I mean, you lose the first hand and you're hooked. Here's another one. I knew this lady who was addicted to bread dough. She really needed it. My own addictions. I'm addicted to collecting female superhero action figures. I'm a heroin addict. But I have finally stopped. This is actually true. My addiction over chocolate, marshmallows, and nuts. But it's a rocky road. I'm going to start this business in which I teach short people math. I'm going to call it Little Things That Count. I mean, 6 topless women sounds nice, doesn't it? How does a cat like its steak? Rare. What do you call a man with no fingers pointing at people? Pointless. I once dated a set of twins. People always used to ask me, Kyle, how can you tell the twins apart?
Oh, no.
Well, Samantha, she used to paint her fingernails purple, and Steve had a dick.
All right. Oh, that was fun watching all the families. That was hilarious. That was great. Kyle, I wish you could see all the screens. That was great. I think that was your best. I think by the looks on everybody's faces, I think that was your best. Very good. Very good.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah. Are we ready?
We are. And we have some things from the battle for the rebuild crew to show up on the screen whenever you're ready to
Yeah, go ahead.
share about, okay.
So when we originally started, we came to this conclusion that a lot of these guys were going out to work for contractors, and we kind of decided we all wanted to work together, and these guys wanted to do their own thing. So I've been helping a lot of the guys that graduated this program, kind of helping them start their own business, kind of being a part of it with them and helping them guide with the money situation and not fight and all that kind of thing and get jobs for them. And so we've kind of invested some money in some equipment. And originally we were going to call it Battlefield Construction. We just thought that might get too confusing with people, and the Battlefield being a nonprofit, and maybe the fact that people think we're coming to do free construction, which we're not. And so we've changed the name, and we're going to be calling it the Rebuild Crew. They're doing a lot of work already. We just did this floor this week. There's Travis. Show them
Look at the after the transformation. Look at that. That was what, in 2 days? Boom.
Yeah. So we can pretty much do all kinds of flooring, all kind of hauling. If you're in a neighborhood and you want, let's say you have junk that you want hauled. One thing we're recommending is that neighbors you get together with your neighbors and come, and we could come into your neighborhood once a month and bring a full truck or a full trailer so we can fill it and be more cost effective for people.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So we're doing everything. Yard cleanups, demos, cleanups of houses, tree service. There's Cam at the Stamps house.
At the Stampalia, Dave and Pam Stampalia's trees right there. Look at that.
Hanging from the tree. So anyways, just get a hold of us. The number will be put up that we want you to call, and we'll come do whatever you need done. And we've got endless amount of people ready to work, and we'll do a great job no matter how long it takes us. So, or how quickly.
I'm putting the number in chat. We will have, it's a little funky, but there's the number, but we'll have an actual new graphic, the real name here coming in a few days. We'll have all that, but there's the number, or you can reach out to me if you can't quite grab that because I did it wrong.
My parents were most impressed with the call back to make sure you were happy with the service.
Oh yeah. You get those. Well, we can't mention that. That's a surprise for people.
Superior service though, for sure. Extraordinary.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not doing the work, it's real easy for me to call a customer and see if they're happy. If they tell me they're not happy, I just yell at people. It's not that hard to do. If they tell me they're happy, great. If they say they're unhappy, then I just yell at you guys. It's not as easy when you're doing the work yourself to call and get criticized. It's not fun. All right. We ready?
We're ready.
So I think for years, I didn't ever know what the purpose of, I don't know, I guess we went through all kinds of spiritual, I guess you could call them spiritual phases or development stages. And I know that I went through a lot of different phases, and at some point, one of them's truthful for me, or one of them's my opinion, or one of them's my judgment, or one of my positions. And then we'll teach from that position, and then it'll change, and the truth seems to change. And what you think is true then becomes different later. And, and then it evolves. And this is very hard to sit up here for a 7-year period talking about every part of life, because you look back at what you thought was true 7 years ago and it's not. Then you look back what you thought was true 5 years ago and it's not. And what I've kind of seen though over the years, it seems to be consistent, is that what we're trying to do here with each other, and what a normal group gets together. And I would say that if you go to any kind of normal meeting, normal group, and I would say ordinary, what kind of transpires is these people get in a room together. Everybody gets in a room together, and there's a subject. And then everyone shares about that subject or talks about that subject. And then what people do is they sit with their judgments or their opinions or their position or what they're thinking and their thoughts. And maybe they don't share those thoughts. Maybe some people over here are rolling their eyes at what this person said. Maybe some person here feels what this person said is cringeworthy. Maybe some person feels what this person says is wrong. Maybe some person over here says, you know, I hate what this person says. Or one person says, I like, but nobody shares. And what it is it's just this fake thing. Everyone's sitting in a room. And so you go to this, and then what happens is everybody goes to their cars. When they get in their cars, they say what they really think. They say their judgments. They say their positions. They say what they think about the person that was talking. They really let loose. And, you know, that's from what we've been kind of learning here is that's powerlessness, the inability to make an impact in the room I'm in. So therefore, I go somewhere else to talk about the room I was in. I can't make a difference. I can't have it be the atmosphere that I want it to be. And I want it to be what I want it to be. And maybe there's a person in my life that I want to tell something that I think is true about them, but I don't have the balls. I don't have anything inside me that lets me do that. So instead of telling them, I talk to other people about them because I'm dominated by them. And this happens all over our life. We just have these people that we can't tell, you know, and this relationship that I have with everyone on here and everyone in this room, guess what? It doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. The reason it doesn't work for me, because I don't know how many of you have the balls to tell me the truth, whether you like what I had to say or you don't like what I have to say, or whether you think what I say is horse shit, or whether you have a different opinion, or whether you have a different position or a different judgment. And so now this relationship doesn't work for me, not in the way that it doesn't work like business wise, but it doesn't work for my growth. Because there's no way to grow. Because I guess what? Tonight, you're not going to tell me anything I don't want to hear. I'll smash your face in. You don't want to hear it. I'll make you look stupid. So you don't want to say it, whatever the reasoning is. But I bet you'll be very comfortable talking about what I said in this room to somebody else. Very comfortable. And this thing goes on with people. And for years, I've been trying to change this kind of thing and trying to say with you all, the kids come here and they meet without me. And what I know when they meet without me is that they might see the thing about saying your judgment, your positions and your truth and whatever, all that kind of stuff, your opinions about somebody and all that kind of stuff. The thing about saying is anybody can say it. That's not the trick. Anyone can say their judgments, positions, thoughts. Any asshole can do that. We all know that. The trick is being liked. The trick is getting people to stay when you do that. The trick is gaining people's respect. So when they do that, it makes an impact. The trick is actually making an impact when you say those things. So I found out really early on in this business, because I started out, and I don't know, maybe I'm still hated. I don't know. People wouldn't tell me. But I know for the first 3 years, I was. And the way I found out I was hated for the first 3 or 4 years is I was told by people, 1 or 2 people that had the balls to tell me, hey, Art, when you leave, everyone talks shit. Everyone talks behind your back. Everyone says, well, everything you say is bullshit. And I was like, what? That can't be true. To me, it just was, I was mystified by that. The fact that I could sit in a room, I just hadn't experienced that in my life. I hadn't experienced it with my own family. I'd never experienced that kind of like level of someone looking at me and going like this and then talking and saying it wasn't true what I said, or having different judgments than their face let on. See, I don't even mind if somebody will be in a room with me and I can see if their face lets on that they don't agree with me. Because if their face lets on they don't agree with me, I can kind of like look at that and I can go, wait, I see that. Maybe you don't agree with me. Come on. And I can bring it out of somebody. But the kind of people I'm talking about, the kind of thing I'm talking about, people just agreeable face. And then they go and talk shit in the car or do whatever. And so people come here, and I think everybody's coming here. And what we're doing when we're coming here with each other is really, if you look at what we're doing, what you're saying is, I want to get better at telling my judgments, my positions, my thoughts. I want to be able to make an impact on my loved one's life. I want to make an impact on people's life. I want to make an impact at work. I want to make an impact anywhere. So I got to get better, because here's what happens when I can't share my judgments, my opinions, my thoughts, my positions, my ideas, my truth, whatever you want to call it. When I can't share that, I'm in a prison. And what happens is I'm just alone with that. And my thoughts aren't now creating for the future. They're thinking about my judgments and my positions and my ideas and everything that I didn't say. And it's maybe mulching over what I should say next time. And if I ever get the balls, and then you know what somebody does, they get drunk. They have like 2 or 3 beers and they let themselves out of prison. And they tell everybody everything about themselves, or they get high, or maybe they wait, maybe they wait until they get angry. And then they get angry and they say, here's the fucking truth about you. And they go off and they tell the truth. And then what they'll say is, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Yes, you did. It's the only time you've told the truth. It's the only time you said anything. Because what you're telling me right now and what you're angry about is what you tell your friend about me. It's what it's told everybody else but me. So there's this idea of, man, how do I get to be with people, everyone in my life, tell them my thoughts, my positions, my ideas about them, my judgments about them, my feelings about them. How do I do that truthfully? And how do I do that with me and have them still like me? And one thing that we miss in this room when you guys gather together, and one thing that people don't understand is, yes, I want to be able to do this, but it's not about what I say. It's about where it comes from. People ignore and don't have any idea. And I'm not saying I always have the right thing. I get to be in this luxurious position because people come to me for this. So in a lot of the times in my life, it's a role that I already kind of fit into. I get to tell you about yourself. It's a very luxurious kind of role that I get to be in. It's like very fitting for my personality because I love telling people about themselves. But over time, I've still had to learn how to do it with some type of heart to it. And I still had to learn that this person has to trust that I'm coming from the right place. And it doesn't matter ever. You can listen. And I always can tell when it's going to be cringeworthy, when somebody's going to tell somebody something from the wrong place. Here's how you know. They'll start with, you know, I love you. You know, I care about you. When anyone says that, they are fucked. Everything you say after that is complete horseshit. Nobody gives a shit what you say after that. You know, I care about you, man. If you have to say that, first of all, you don't care about them. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge. If I have to say to somebody, hey, man, you know I care, then there's got to be some doubt. There's got to be a doubt. They got to feel the doubt. You got to feel the doubt. There's doubt. You're not saying that to, a 5-year-old kid. You're not going to your 5-year-old, hey, man, you know I care about you, little guy. That's not how it works. And so this idea of, first of all, why? I do want to say my thoughts, my judgment, opinion, my ideas, and I want them to make an impact. Okay, why? Why? That's the first sticking point. Why do you want to help somebody? Oh, I'm going to tell them about themselves. Why? I'm going to tell them they do this and it's annoying. I'm going to tell them they do this and it's bad. I'm going to tell them they shouldn't do that. Why are you telling them that? And I will tell you the number one reason why people want to tell people about themselves. Well, there's two. There's two reasons. One, it makes me feel superior. It makes me feel absolutely superior to tell you that I don't want you to be this way and that you're being away. And the way that I'll do it to be superior, hey, you need to know this about yourself because I'm trying to help you. When really I'm pointing out that you behave worse than me. That's one. That's a one slip up that people will make. The second one is that people are annoyed. You're annoyed and you want them to not be that way because it annoys you. So you're annoyed or you're superior. So let's look at these two places that people are coming from when they say they want to make an impact. Because if you're coming from annoyed or being superior, you will always fail. It doesn't matter how you say it. It doesn't matter how much power you have. It doesn't matter what the impact is. It doesn't matter. I can have people that I'm in this role with. But if they know that I'm annoyed with them, or that I'm being superior to them, I'm negated from helping them, even if I'm in the proper position, even if I'm in the role. You got to be at a different level with people. So we're talking about, okay, why? And I think the first thing people admit, I will tell you what first thing that got me convinced or got me in a place where I could actually get in this role to make an impact in my own life, to make an impact with the people. People always say it to me all the time, and I don't even know if it's true. Believe me, I don't know if it's true, but people say it to me all the time. Art, you get away with saying things I could never say. And people always say, Art, you get to say things to people that I want to say. I say things in a room full of people that people want to say, and they don't know how I get away with it. And people say, you tell them, Art, you say it, Art. And that's just what people say. And I don't know, maybe I'm still pissing people off and I'm just too much of a brute for people to tell me. I don't know. But like I said, I do get away with that. And one thing that I do know is that to get to the proper motivation, the first thing that I had to determine is my lack of care for folks. I first had to admit that to myself. The number one fraudulent thing that I get from people that say they want to help people and they want to tell people about themselves and they want an impact, the number one fraudulent reason is they say they care. And the person knows emphatically that you don't. And that's whatever topic you're caring about. You know, the easiest topic and so then if I got to a place where I could go, okay, man, I don't really care about people. You know, still to this day, I wonder about my motivation to this day. What I've done is I've eliminated being superior and I've eliminated annoyed. Now, I still don't know why I'd want to help people. I still don't know why I'd want to tell people that their behavior is bad and it should behave good. I still don't know why. I can't really, other than it's my job. But for you, if you start doing this investigation into yourself, you want to tell a coworker that they don't keep their desk neat. You want to tell a coworker that they're not behaving, that they're always late. You want to tell anyone anything. Ask yourself why first. Why? And you will not, if you can, come up with, and if we can talk about it, if you can come up with some proper motivation that I haven't seen, and it isn't annoyed, and it isn't that you're pointing out that you're better for that behavior, not doing that behavior, let me know why. You first got to eliminate these two. And I see the struggle in this room. I see when everyone gets together and one person, it never comes off. Not once. I don't know in the history of this room, one of you guys telling somebody about themselves has ever worked. Ever. I don't know if the person's ever received it. I don't know if the person's ever said, you know, they're right. I don't know if the person's ever not got defensive. I don't know if it's ever worked in this format. And I can say the reason is not because people didn't say it right, not because it wasn't true. I mean, we could say something as mundane in this room as, hey, I'd like it so if you weren't late every day. That mundane, fed back with venom and anger, and we can't even hold somebody accountable for that. So if you really see in your own families and everything, God, the amount of families that come to me and can no longer tell their loved one their opinion of them, no longer tell their loved one the truth, no longer say their judgment about their loved one, no longer even knock on the door, say, are you in there getting high? Oh, we don't know if they're high. We got to, it's got to get stripped back down. Got to get to the place where we see some type of proper motivation or something that we can get through. And I'm telling you, this is a very, very difficult thing. Us as human beings telling somebody that their behavior needs to improve is a difficult, like a high wire act. Massively, you're up there walking this high wire act of, one, if I tell this person that their behavior needs to improve, what are they going to do? Are they going to come back at me? Are they going to be venomous towards me? Are they going to be defensive? And we as human beings are horrible at taking it. And I don't know. I don't know how much I could say, well, this relationship isn't workable. I want you all to tell me about myself. But do I? Or will I be sitting up here horrified? That's how untruthful we are together. That you may have thoughts and judgments about me that I've never heard. And that everyone, but somebody else has. You found it necessary to tell somebody else your thoughts and judgments about me, but not tell me. And we find it necessary to do this because if I share mine with you and then you get defensive and we get in this war and we can't go anywhere and you tell me how shitty of a person I am and it escalates because we said, wait, hey, you don't keep your car very nice. Something as mundane as that. Hey, you don't keep your room clean. Hey, you didn't clean out the counter all the way. And it becomes a war because we're in this improper motivated behavior competition where we exploit everyone else's bad behavior for our own gain. And we've gotten the business of it. And so pointing out someone's bad behavior, everybody knows you're just telling me you're better than me. Anytime we criticize another human being, that's just exactly the feeling. Wait, you think you're better than me? Wait, fuck you. This is what you do. This is what you do. Don't act like you're better than me. because you told me that I left a dish in the sink. Do not act like you're better than me because you make your bed. I make more money than you. Do not act like you're better than me because you have a nicer car. I have more money in the bank. There is no criticism. We cannot take it. We cannot give it. We cannot make an impact because we're in a stalemate. Because if I am to mention to you in any way that your behavior is unsatisfactory, you will bring it back on me with a wrath, with your wrath. Now we're in a war. And this is where we're at, where we can't tell each other the truth. You can't tell your thoughts and judgments about me, because what if I unleash on you? What if you tip me and hit something inside me and it makes me angry, and then I come at you and I tell you all your deficits? So what do? And I'll tell you, to get to a place where you can do it, one, you can never be annoyed. You can't be angry about it. You can't need to talk to somebody. When you need to talk to somebody, you're not needing to help somebody. You're needing to tell them how you feel, and you're needing to unload on someone. And so I had to refrain from that, because that's what I do when I'm annoyed. I want to yell, and then I make the mistake, and then I got to apologize. And maybe I say something that's kind of true, but it's mean. And so it's an art form, a learning to dance this whole thing of being able to express your thoughts, your opinions, your judgments, be in a room with people so they know you, letting it be true, saying what other people can't say, saying things that are kind of somebody would consider mean, but they like you when you say it. That's a tough thing to work through. And I'll tell you what we've been doing, and working through this. I know I've been working through it. I know that I've been working on my behavior. I started there and I worked on my behavior. I made sure that trying, and I'm not making sure, I'm saying I try very hard to not be a hypocrite. That's one. Very, very hard not to be hypocritical. And if you're going to talk a lot and tell people about themselves, you better be way less hypocritical than anyone else. You better give them very little. And when I say talk a lot and tell people about themselves, I don't mean it like that. I mean, when you want to make an impact. Because when you really wanted to make an impact on somebody's life, maybe somebody's in the room and maybe like 9 people are talking shit behind their back, and you want to be the person that gets them to change. So that stops. So you figure out a way to be with that person, and you figure out to tell them, hey man, I care about you, and not tell them I care about you. Let them know through the way you treat them, because you don't talk shit behind their back. You stick up for them, and then maybe they know that you care about them and you don't have to say it. Maybe you create a teammate first, something like a rapport, somebody that they can come to, first, somebody they can look up to, and somebody that you can do that with and kind of get in that role with. And then you're able to actually make an impact with what you can say to the person. That's tough, but you got to do that. Second thing, if you ever want to make an impact with people, you can never talk behind their back, ever. Now that's tough, because maybe the person you want to make an impact with, or somebody wants to, they just can't approach me, or you just can't approach your loved one. So you end up talking behind their back because you're dominated. It's dominating. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to say it. You're not in that position. So you're like, oh shit, what do I do? They're behaving just crazy. So it's all the work. And I'm telling you, the work of aligning yourself to get to this position where you can make an impact with the people in your life, and we can live our truth. See, live our truth. And that means live with power. That means I express myself in a room. I do not leave the room and then express myself about the room. I will not do that. I express myself with my friend. I do not leave my friend and then express myself about my friend. Never. That's not power. Power is I express myself with you, and there's no one else to talk to about that. And then if I can't do that, and I tried, and I've tried, guess what? I get away from you. I've worked it. I've tried it, man. I can't express myself with this person. I got to get out of their life, or they got to get out of mine, because it just doesn't work. Or maybe there's more work to be done. You got to decide. But this isn't easy. Brute force isn't power. Yelling louder to get a person to hear, whether you like their behavior or not, isn't power. When I've gotten to the point of yelling, I've lost my power. I've become powerless. I don't even know what to do anymore. And I now need to go kind of reestablish myself and go see about what kind of person I am and go see about why I'm yelling. And I got to go see all that. And then guess what? I got to come back and I got to apologize first. And then I got to get all that back that I had before and work that whole thing. And this has taken years of conversations and years of being surgical with my words, like actually trying to be able to get, this is the life's work of like, oh, if you're going to make an impact on anyone in this room or anyone in your life or your coworkers or your family, oh man, that's your life's work. And if you can't read in the room that when you put stuff out there, it ain't flying back at you perfectly and people ain't picking up what you're putting down, well, you better get more self-aware so that you can do this. And then you got to have, you know, you really do. And I don't like this word. I don't like none of these kind of words, but you got to have empathy. You got to feel what the other person is feeling when you're speaking. You got to care. I know. I'm not telling you got to tell people that you care about them, but you got to actually care. You got to actually care that their life progresses. You actually care that it moves forward. Now, I've come to the conclusion a lot. I'm not going to walk around the mall and care about people. I have a hard time walking around the mall or an airport and giving two shits about the success of the people in the airport or the mall. So for me, I actually care about people, maybe selfishly, that I have something invested in their life. You know, that's why a team works. That's why a good leader on a team can always tell the bad behavior on the team about themselves and doesn't really get met with any kind of issue, because it's not about caring. It's about winning. And the guy doesn't have to convince the other guy on the team that he cares about them and loves him. He just has to say, I care about this team winning. And so now I can tell you about yourself because I want the team to win. And you can say that in a company too, you know, but this makes it tough because why do you want your roommates to succeed? So you'd have to come up with that on your own somehow. You'd have to convince me why you care deeply about their success. So before you go about the business of holding them accountable or doing this or that, you have to find where you're coming from. Where am I coming from here? And a lot of the parents that met me early on didn't like me. And there was a good fucking reason for that. Because I was coming from superiority. I was a young, insecure kid that thought he knew everything about addiction and needed to tell you all in the first hour everything I know about addiction. And after I've learned over the years to not come from a place of that, to come from a place of I want to help. And the reason I want to help is because it's my job. Because it's better for business. And I can't find anything more pure than that. You come to me for help. The reason I want to help you is because it's my job and it's good for business. Not because I love you right when you walked in the door and I love all mankind and I want mankind to succeed. And I'm so empathetic and compassionate for everyone that struggles. It ain't none of that shit. It's my job and it's good for business. If you succeed, I succeed. Same with the knee surgeon. Knee surgeon wants to fix the knee because it's his job and it's good for business. Well, that's the same with this. I want you to succeed because it's my job and it's good for business. Okay. Now, if along the way we invest with each other and you begin to care about me and I begin to care about you and we get all lovey-dovey, let's do that then. That's fine. That's cool too. And there's people I deeply, deeply have learned to care for and would have, but it's on the first day. I've never drove down to Lakeside Milam and stood outside and yelled that I care. I don't care about them drug addicts. If I cared about drug addicts, I would probably just go walk around Seattle like, oh. And if I really wanted people to think I cared about drug addicts, I'd walk around Seattle with some sandwiches and some crack pipes. You know what I mean? Photo op, guys. I care about you. Smoke that crack. Oh, is that a dirty meth pipe? Take this clean one. That's how much I care. Is that a dirty needle? Jumping on him. Yeah. No, I got rid of that shit real quick. Every person that ever had a homeless sign in Kent that was begging for money, early on, I stopped by every single one of them. Hey, man, you want a house to live in? Right when I got houses. Every time I pulled up to one of those guys with a sign, I said, hey, man, I got a bedroom for you right now. You come on home, get sober at my house. Let's go. They not one took me up on the offer. Big sign that says homeless. I was like, I got a home. They're like,
You didn't say anything helped.
yeah.
Not a house.
He's like, I'm like, peanut butter sandwich. Money. Yes. All right. So quickly, cringeworthy. I've been there. I don't know, things I say might get cringeworthy some days. I think we all do. But I think that's what happens when we try to care about somebody when we don't care. And the way we tell them that we care and start the conversation because we're annoyed or we're pointing out why they behave poorly. And when we start those conversations, they get real cringeworthy, and everybody in the room knows that you don't care because you just said, hey, I care. And now the person knows, and now all of a sudden you're going to go down that road of trying to do that. And that's a tough road because the person's going to be looking deeper into your motivation. And that's one thing we sense as human beings. We don't always sense everything correctly, but we sense people's motives. And that's what we're really looking for. Isn't it weird that we sense people's motives, but rarely do we ever talk about people's motives? Mm-hmm. And then we say fake or fraudulent or untruthful, but it doesn't ever mean that they're lying. It doesn't mean that they're actually putting on some dramatic show that they're acting. It means that what their motivation they're saying is not lining up. That's what we mean by fake. That's what we mean when we say a person's fake. We say, you're trying to say your motivation is this, but we all know that it's that. And we're all here. And we feel your motives and we sense your motives. So you're fake.
What if you don't even, that the intentions are fake, but you don't know what their motives are, but you just know one of the two. That's right. For the most of the time. I don't know what their motives are, but I know what they're saying is bullshit.
Okay, good. Well, what he asked was when somebody's doing this to us, kind of, right? Criticizing us. Or telling us we need to improve. Give them feedback. Okay.
Come on, you got so much shit to work on, dude.
Right.
But I don't know what their motive is, because they always do it all the time.
Right. Listen, this. If you ask Kyle Munkers to solve this, I already know his answer, so I'm going to give it to you because I'm going to give it to you in 3 minutes, and he'll take 30. So Kyle Munkers will say that it doesn't matter. See, from the person getting the feedback, it doesn't matter. When you're really, truly growing on this planet, it doesn't matter. You'll take it. You'll take it no matter what people's motivations are. That's to be responsible as a person that wants to improve. You will be able to take anyone's criticism in any form. That's being big. That's big stuff. That's big stuff when you can retrain your mind to not defend. When you can be with that and say, well, my job on this planet right now is to improve as a person, and any criticism and feedback I get kind of helps me do that. That makes you big. And in the meantime, what you do is you kind of practice mindfulness. And when they're giving you that feedback, you sit there and you don't respond and you take it all in, and it hurts. And you can feedback. And that's why people don't know, but we used to do Solution Group Live, and there was people that gave me feedback, and I learned this. And there's people that give me feedback on the phone, and I do it. And in that thing, your heart starts beating quick and your blood pressure goes up, and you want to defend and you want to fire back. And that's when it takes a deep breath, and it takes you knowing yourself as a person, and eating that kind of criticism is big. So there's that. And that's what you do when you want to improve. You take criticism. That's what you want to do. And any coachable athlete, anyone that's getting better would be good at taking criticism. So it would seem to me that if you want to get better, you better get good at taking criticism. Secondly, the person giving it, they won't even really know their motivation either. Yeah. The person giving the criticism doesn't know that they're doing it just because they're annoyed and they've reached a boiling point, or they're falsely motivated in some way other than care. And I will again repeat that I think if anyone on this thing or anyone everywhere hasn't admitted to themselves as a human being, how difficult it is to care about another human being. We just take it for granted that we all care, but nobody ever says, you know how difficult it is for me to care about another person? You know how much my mind actually spends thinking about another person's problems? You know what my mind actually does all day, if I'm truthful?
And I think if you truly do care about someone, like I think about like my mom and I'm in full on drug addiction, she fucking does care about them. She's constantly thinking about what I'm doing, what's going on.
That's
and
right.
It absorbs her life completely. Whereas like someone who wants to pretend like they don't ever think about the situation or the person until it's right there and they can put them on blast.
Okay, so now, see, this is where it gets sick, and this is where people need to get like, you got to get honest with yourself, because this one's going to piss people off, but it's okay. So a mom says, I care. Well, what precisely are you caring about? So your drug addicted kid is out there on the streets, and every mother's going to tell me, well, I don't want the bad ending. Okay. Or I don't want this. But you have to be honest enough, even as a mother, to admit that sometimes I care about my identity as a mother.
Yeah, in the younger days, absolutely. They were definitely concerned about their.
What does this mean about me as a mother that my kid is out there?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
Did I fail? What's this going to look like to the neighbors? What's this going to look like to the community? You know, I even say so that, but it takes that kind of honesty as a mother even. And why can't she say it? Why can't she say, yes, I care about my kid? And half of the motivation is because, God damn it, I want to be a good mother. I want to be known as a good mother. Why can't someone say that? No, it's not about me as a mother. It's not about me as a mother. It has nothing to do with me as a mother. It's about, no, why not? Why? Why can't you say, hey, it works. I actually care about my kid a lot. And I care about my identity as a mother, because if my identity as a mother is good, I bet my kid's going to be doing good too. And that's something you got to get down deep with yourself about. Everyone does. I will tell you that I am the first treatment provider in Washington State. I don't know another one. Just say maybe there is, but I've met a lot of them. I am the first one to say I was at a point 4 years doing the business, and I said to myself, I don't care about these people. No, what's going to happen? And what I meant by that is, no, I don't go home and think about them. I think about my money, my heart attack, my problems, my disease that I could get diagnosed with, my car that I need to get fixed, my insurance paid, my cable, me having to go to the bathroom, my food, my body. A lot to care about. Sorry, I don't have time for you. But because I admitted that to myself, I worked my life to a point where I can think about other people. Only because I admitted that to myself. Then I started thinking, I got to have all my bills paid. I got to have all my cars taken care of. I got to have everything done so that I can focus on people other than myself. Mm-hmm. I can't be behind on my bills and fucking, have my car thrashed around and have my house being about to be foreclosed and then go tell people I care about them. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to sit and ponder the life of another human being. Do you have time for that? And mothers do. I get that moms do. And I get the obsession of being up all night and knowing your kid could die. And I get the fear of all that. And I get all that. I understand that. That sucks. But we got to be honest with ourselves, because some of your kids don't trust your motivation. And if there isn't a mother on here that doesn't understand that you're called a nag, that you're called this and they're called that, and they say, you just want to do that. You're just telling me about that because you want to be. That's what the kid's saying when they're saying, don't criticize me. They're saying, I don't trust your motivation. I don't even believe that you want to help me at this point in my life. That's not everyone, but that definitely could be true. And then there's mothers that it's pure. I wouldn't probably say this about my mother. I could never get in her an argument, but I never also said that my mother was an ag. I also, when my mother talked to me, I just dummied up and listened. Yeah. I didn't fight back, I trusted her motivation. She's my mother. But I see a lot of people here the way they talk to their mother. It ain't that. So now what's going on?
And to be honest, I truly think that a mom could give a fuck less like what the neighbors thought about how she was raising her kid. You know what I mean?
Some, but there's
some mothers
you're looking at your mother. We all know your mother.
I'm just saying, yeah,
Your mother's like the purest mother that we've ever seen as a mother. I mean, really, like, I mean, your mother's the kind of mother that shotgun mother. I mean, your mother doesn't care about the neighbors. She'll shoot the neighbors. You could be robbing the neighbors and she would shoot the neighbor and say, don't touch my son. I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, Cam could be walking out with a stereo from the neighbor's house and the neighbors go, Cam, don't steal my stereo. And Cam would say, I'm not stealing the stereo, Mom. And then your mom would go, he's not stealing the stereo. And then Cam would come home and get in the house and she'd smack him and go, why the hell did you steal that stereo? But she would never do it in front of the neighbors. Loyal. I know. So that's why it's hard for you to understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's some of the points that you're saying, like I could see other it's just hard for me, you know what I mean, being raised the way that I was to see that kind of thing. But I can understand in a way for other mothers. Yeah, I mean, coming from me as a father, like the last thing that I want is to be a bad dad, right? You know what I mean? The last thing I want is for other parents to look at me and be like, oh, you're a bad dad. Like that's just something that, you know.
So has anyone ever thought about, I mean, I've thought it down to this. I used to worry a lot when I was out doing drugs and promiscuous and all that kind of thing. I always worried that I was going to get AIDS. Maybe you've had the similar worry. You know, I worried about that kind of thing. Just did. Yeah. None of you guys do. I guess you're just careless or you don't know what. But anyways, I did. But see, when I looked really closely, I never worried that I would get AIDS. I worried what would people think if I had AIDS.
Yeah, 80s anymore. Yeah, you're gay.
Yeah, I just worried that I think the same thing kind of applies for COVID in the beginning. You know?
He's dirty.
People aren't worried about the COVID. They're worried about people, ooh, that dirty person has COVID. You know, and this kind of stuff plays out all of our stuff. We're not really worried about the reality of our situation a lot of the times. A lot of the times we're worried about what people think of our situation. For me personally, I'm not worried about being broke. I've been broke. I'm worried about what people would think if I was broke. How that plays in the story of me. That's a tough one. I'm not worried about like, you know, any of the real being broke. We've all done that. We've been there. We just don't want people to know it. You got money? Oh yeah. Yeah. How much is in your bank? Oh. We just double whatever it is or triple it, you know? So really, really getting, and this living your truth thing starts with saying my truthful motivation, understanding my current motivation, understanding what it is that I do. I have no qualms with saying that I got into the treatment business for one reason. I thought it was a great story and a great comeback story. And I had no thoughts about what it would take to impact somebody else's life and how much work would go into it. And
Oh, did we lost sound? Is it just me? I can't tell if it's just me. Oh, okay, y'all can hear me? We lost them.
It's not just you, Angie.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't hear anything over here.
We went black. All right. Well, while they're still working on getting back, what have I missed telling y'all about? Still black, y'all. They'll be back. Actually, there was something that I was like, oh, Kristen and Becky, there was something that I was like, oh gosh, I forgot. Oh no, we covered group coaching. Was there anything we didn't cover that we could tell them about right now?
Becky left the cat in charge.
They left the
Yeah,
cat in charge?
we could tell them about fast pitch a little bit.
You know what? Let's not do that right now. I want to
Okay.
get you with Becky and Kristen and talk about that.
Let's do it. We
But
gotta do it
thank you.
quick because, yeah. So let's do that, girls. We gotta do that
Yeah.
quick.
Can you join us tomorrow morning on Mom's Group? Any chance you could pop in on your
You
a
know
lunch
what?
break?
Yeah, well, I think I might just make my lunch break that, and I have the option. So I think I will do that.
That would be
and I'll just do it
awesome.
from- Okay, I think I will.
Even
And-
if a,
yeah.
even if a portion of that hour, even if just a few minutes of it, you were able to pop in, because I would love for.
Yeah, no, I could do that. I think even if I just do 15 or 20 minutes, but and then in a few weeks when my schedule changes, I'm gonna just be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I get to have my lunch at my own time. So I'm gonna actually be able to do Wednesdays now. That'll be great. But
Okay.
yes, so let's plan on tomorrow for sure.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Okay.
That's
All right,
perfect.
guys. Thank you.
All right.
Good
Thank
night.
you, Renee. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah. Good night.
Yes, Tough Mudder. Renee's talking about Tough Mudder. So Tough Mudder is, they haven't had it for the last 2 years because of COVID. But Tough Mudder's like a muddy, in the pits obstacle course. I think it's like a 10-mile thing or something. But there's all these obstacles. It takes like all day, and it's coming up in September. So for all of you people who are, that resonates with you, getting muddy in the muddy pits, or if you're like me and would like to be an observer, which I'm the cheerleader for the day, and I observe, this is a really super cool event. And Tim Keaty heads this up. And so we started back in 2018. And then we did it in 2019 too. And I think there's like 50 participants from Battlefield. We all have our jerseys on, and it's all about, it's not a competition. It's about reaching the finish all together, and nobody leaves anybody behind. And so the entire team starts together, and you finish together, and you go through these obstacle courses. Mount Everest, there's this Mount Everest thing where you just run up this. We're going to be posting about this. We're going to be posting some little video shots so you can kind of get a glimpse, but it's coming up. I think it's September 25th. So basically you'll start seeing information, but it's coming. It's going to be awesome. And here they are. Admit them in. But yeah, so September 25th. So we are going to resume this year. Tim Keaty's going to head it up. We're going to gather a group. We're going to spend the entire day out there. It's in Black Diamond. It's a really, really cool event. And it's the epitome of what we stand for as Battlefield. Hi, guys.
We're back. We don't know what happened. Anyways, I hope we can open it up, take questions. And I hope people don't think that I'm saying that I don't care. I'm saying that this whole thing started with what Warner Earhart said and what we learned in the forum and the phrase that people throw around and don't know what they're talking about when they say it. But the phrase is that we get authentic with our own inauthenticities. And what that means is that we get really serious about how fake we are and about how fake we've been programmed to be, about that idea that we go into a room together, nod our heads with people, smile, and go out in the car and talk shit. That's what I'm talking about. The idea that we don't express our opinions, our judgments, our feelings, our wisdom, or anything that we want to say, and we're refrained because we want to look like a good person. And getting down for me to be able to tell you all that there was a time that I didn't care, that predominantly what I was caring about was my self-image, and doing this work looked real good for my self-image. And so I built up a whole thing to do this work so I could look like whatever. And I came to some conclusions along the way when you start looking at yourself. And I think those conclusions saved my life. Those conclusions gave me a capacity to be a real person and gave me the capacity to say the things that I do care about and the things that I don't, and to be truthful and to say things to people that other people can't say, and kind of live that way. Now, I don't know how it plays with everyone else, and I don't know how happy people are with me because they don't generally tell me. But I think that'll be for later. I think we'll get known better after we go. But like I said, so it's all that, and it's being able to create a group that people are able to find their proper motivation. So then once they find their proper motivation, after the group, instead of rolling my eyes about somebody, I go like bring them outside and I talk to them. And I get to know them and I establish a relationship, and that lets me then go back to the group with them and have some kind of rapport with that person. So when I know the group isn't picking up what they're putting down, I can like kind of help that person. Now, maybe we're all doing that for heroic reasons, and maybe you won't ever really find your proper motivation. So, which I don't think I'll ever find mine. I don't know if it's for business or money anymore, or whether I care. And I'm so confused about my motivation. But two things that I really take out and make sure that aren't, is that I'm not motivated by being better than a person, because I have to be real careful about that. And that's number one, that I'm not trying to be superior and point out your bad behavior because I think I'm better than you. One. And two, I'm not annoyed with you. And so I'm not snapping at you and blowing up because I'm annoyed or angry or something like that. Those two just don't fly. Now, I'm not even saying that I don't always do those two. I'm saying for sure those two don't fly. When I do those two things, I can't make an impact. When I do those things, nothing changes. In fact, I end up looking like the asshole. So nothing ever fixes. And the times that I've been blessed to make an impact on the life of another human being is because I'm not motivated from either of those two places. And I'm either motivated by being a good businessman and wanting success, or maybe I'm possibly gotten to the level of care. And maybe the person possibly knows it to the point where I don't really have to tell them I care. They just know it. And then you've just got there. And that's the nicest place to be, because you're just in the right position. People just truly know you care. You don't have to say it. And then you get to kind of go around in there and protect that person from their own bad behavior. And that's kind of got to be the goal. You know, hey, I'm trying to look out for you, man. You're really not playing well with the audience. You should really stop that. That's not going to make you successful, and don't do that. And then sometimes you jump the gun and you try to like make an impact before you have that relationship. And that don't fly well. So like, I don't go down to the poker table and just start telling all the men there about themselves. That's a real tricky one, you know, but sometimes I do, and they don't always like me, but I don't know. That's one group I don't generally go home and think about too often afterwards. Oh, guys, the men at the poker room aren't happy with me. I don't care, but you all, so that's it. That's, you know, don't get to that point. You get to that point where you're stuffed up and you don't tell your loved ones your opinions, your judgments, and you don't do it. And then when you do it, you don't do it nice. And then it's a fight. And you got to learn this whole surgical skill of like getting through, because you can't do the other thing. You can't do that thing where you're with your loved ones, but you can't tell them nothing. And you're thinking everything. And then you go tell someone else. It's terrible. How does it get to there with our own family members that we can't sit in a room and tell them our thoughts about them? We have to take it somewhere else because we're dominated. And that sucks. So there's a lot of work here. Where do you start, right? Okay. I hope somebody has a question. Or at least tell me.
Let's open it up. And I'm putting the Tough Mudder group. This is the Facebook group right here in the chat. Join the Facebook group, and soon you'll start seeing posts and announcements and whatnot. So just join it. Stay tuned. There'll be more information here soon. Tim Keaty will be posting all the details and all that information so we can start forming that group. And then as far as the auction, we'll start announcing that probably by about July 1st or so. So we're going to do some planning between now and then. So information to come, but just make sure it's on your calendar. So let's open it up. If you've got questions, comments, anything, just use the raise your hand feature or unmute yourself, get my attention. Pam Wright, welcome. As far as I'm thinking, this is your first group. We'd love to say hi to you. Your camera's off, but if you'd like to say hi, we'd turn on your camera and we'd love to say hi and meet you. And anybody else out there. Hi, Pam.
Hello.
Hi. Where are you from?
I'm from the Tri-Cities.
Okay. How'd you hear about us?
Through my husband. He was checking into some places for our son, Alex, who has some mental illness and chose to use.
Oh, yes. Hi. I'm so glad you made it on.
Yeah.
So you
So-
live in the Tri-Cities and he's building a house right now over in Ocean Shores?
Yes.
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 Okay. And there was, I'd love to get a consultation scheduled with you guys on that is the best way we can help. A consultation is really designed to kind of get to know you and kind of get a starting point. The tech issue was the issue, but obviously you're on Zoom. So that's because you're in the Tri-Cities.
Yes, and I have internet.
I have one
Gotcha.
Dan
question.
does not.
Hey, Pam. Pam,
Yes.
I have one question because I've seen a lot of people building houses recently in Ocean Shores. And my question is, have you guys been to Ocean Shores?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. I mean, I've found several people building houses there. We went there. It was cold. It was rainy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, didn't we think there was a tornado?
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah.
We thought there was going to be a tsunami when we were there. It was horrible.
Want to make sure you've been there. and
No,
check it out. You should. Yeah.
I've been there, and he's doing it for my middle son.
Okay.
He bought the property, and
I
so
think people got to fish. You got to fish or get clams or something if you go over there. Or something.
yes, we do both.
Okay, well that's good. 'Cause I didn't know what to do with myself over there.
Yeah, that's why I'm over here. No, not really, but
We
Well,
went to the
and-
casino. We went to the casino, but you can only go around that a couple times, and you know. There's a good
Been there, done
restaurant.
that.
Good restaurant. What was the name of that restaurant?
It's on the tip of my tongue.
No, it's a really good.
It was
restaurant.
really good.
Yeah.
Can't think. It was in a new little development.
No,
After
it's
the new
way in
ones are-
town. The new part of town.
I can't remember, but there was a
Yeah.
really good coffee place too. I really like that.
Yeah.
But so Mike Hubbard is who they heard about us through.
Oh, Mike. Yeah, Mike just built the house.
They've just built a house over there. Yeah, Mike's a good friend of ours and been great friends of Battlefield for many years, and just good people. So Pam,
Yeah.
let's follow up because we really need to schedule a consultation so we can get down with it. And so let's coordinate. Let's figure out how we can get your husband, how we can do that. So let's follow
Okay.
up tomorrow. That'd be great. I'm glad
Okay.
you're on.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. All right. All right. Let's keep it opened up. We've got 10 minutes left. Questions, comments, anything you've got.
You know, I'm not people always say, Art, you always keep everyone around you that tells you yes. And I always go, no, people just tell me yes. I want people that tell me no. They don't do that. I want people to tell me things. They just generally don't always do that. It's not that. And I just can't be that perfect. Maybe it's brute force. Yeah, maybe I'm strong arming people.
No.
Brainwashing. Yeah.
So I know what Kyle says when it comes to like giving feedback, and that we should accept feedback from anybody who gives it, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that it's better to try to build a relationship with that person before giving or trying to give them feedback at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, no, it's better to.
They just want to get some feedback.
Well, what if? But it's better to know why you're doing it. The first thing when you want to give feedback to people is to understand why. Like, let's say there's a group of parents in this room, okay, and then a new parent comes. Now, just understand how exciting it is, and whether we're here in this room, a group of addicts, and we've been meeting the same addicts have meeting every week, and you go out and parents have meeting every week over here, but then a new person comes. Why is there excitement? So there's this new person comes and everybody's so excited about getting onto that person and helping them and you know, making an impact. You know, you got to look at that. You got to look at why. And so the person will have to look at why, and they go, well, I care about the newcomer. Well, they just got here. Yeah, the newcomer is the most important, whatever they say. Yeah, but maybe it feels heroic.
Yeah,
Okay,
or
so
you start giving advice to this person,
yeah,
right
maybe
away. You start, this is how you do it, this is what you do, this is how you should do it, this is blah blah blah, this is how I did it.
That's right.
They don't really know you that well.
Yes.
So they're gonna listen to everything, you're gonna feed in, but
and you're gonna like
they
it.
have half a brain and they sit back and watch and they see you and they know you and you're not doing what you say, well fuck, you're gonna start discrediting you right away, dude.
Right. But maybe the person, maybe we can admit that, yeah, okay, when a new person comes, I like that feeling of being heroic. I like that feeling of taking a new person in under my wing and giving them advice and like guiding them through that. And that's my personal motivation for doing it. I like how it makes me feel. What's wrong with that? But if you confront somebody and go, hey, why you always grab the newcomer, man, and jump on them and try to be their hero and shit? It's because I care. I just care. So stop. That's what you care about yourself. So if you care about yourself, and that's fine. You know, us people admitting that we care about ourselves, it's not a bad thing. You know, it's really a beneficial thing for me to care about me and you to care about you. And then me do things that are good for me and you do things that are good for you. And it's a really good thing to do. Part of the problem right now in our society is all these people that seem to care about everybody and that are improperly motivated. Why? Why are you taking somebody else's legs out from under them? Why don't you care that they get the same wins in life that you got? You know, I went to school to be a counselor. I had already bought the treatment center and I decided, well, shit, maybe I'll go back and get my counseling thing. It was a huge mistake, but I went back and I decided go get my license or whatever. So I was in school for a little while and there was a group of students studying to be counselors and the teacher asked them all to go through their day about how they help someone. And I legitimately got frustrated because I was a little bit further along and each person that said they helped someone, I could see how they hurt the person that they said they helped. The girl stands up and goes, I got somebody housing today. You helped them? How are they going to get housing next time? Did they know how to get housing or do you? You do. Well, you got them housing. You're a big hero, but you didn't help them. You did something for them that they should have done for themselves. Again, that's called enabling. So you can just keep going and see how hard it is to actually help someone. Because if you eliminate doing things for them that they shouldn't do for them, that they should be doing for themselves, then what? You know, a girl goes right out here, there's a girl that drives down the street and we all see as men, we're walking and she happens to be an attractive girl and her car has a flat tire. So we all run out as men and we go, gonna go help a girl, gonna feel like a big hero today. So we jump out there and we change that tire. But we didn't know is that her father, who's raising her right, has told her over and over to check her tires before she leaves and told her that over and over and said, check all 4 tires, never leave yourself with a low tire. You might get a flat tire. And he's done all this teaching. Now you change the tire and you're a big hero. Well, she drives off and she didn't check the other 2 tires, the other 3. She drives right on the road and the other one blows out and she's dead. Did you help her? Somebody should have taught her to do that for herself. She shouldn't be getting flat tires. Why is she getting a flat tire? What is going on? So when you start really seeing, entangling yourself in the helping business, which I did unknowingly, it's tough. It's a tough thing because you got to look at all your motivation, and any man knows, any one of us man knows, we're sitting out there with a flat tire. How many men stop and help us?
0.
None.
0.
But if a woman happens to be sitting there with a flat tire, any man will pull over and be the hero. So does he want to change the tire and help, or does he want to be a hero? And so you got to really look at all this stuff. And I took a real good look when I decided I was going to help people. I then determined how effed up I was. Really. Entangling myself in other people's lives to get some kind of heroic role so that I could be the star in their life. I'm sick. So then you start, once you realize that, you start backing it down and start trying to get some, proper motivation. Okay, so
Harry has a
again,
question.
okay.
I want to ask the group or you, Art. So you touched a lot on being the deliverer of the message and a little bit on the receiver. And where's my notes? Where's that note at? How people take info, that's also where work has to come from. And you did touch on it. But I just wonder from the group, and anybody on here, how have you learned to take information in and not to get all pissy about it? When most of the time, you probably know what's being told to you is the truth.
Yeah. And that's when you're going to get the most pissy about it. And that's when they get the most upset. And I don't think that we're generally at a point where anyone, you guys, maybe somebody can tell me that they are, but I don't think anyone in this room has gotten very good at taking criticism from each other. Do you guys? No, it's a hot button deal.
But why is that?
Because they're in direct competition. They're peers in direct competition. And that's they're in it. And every bit of people, we as human beings, haven't figured out that the only way to win a competition with our peers, we just haven't figured this out as human beings. The only way to win a competition with your peers is the right thing long enough over a consistent basis. And actually taking the feedback in. And that's the only way to win. But that takes like years.
But I agree with you. 58 takes years. Yeah. But this is where you want to say, I wish somebody would have had this conversation with me, 30 years ago. I probably wouldn't have listened though, right? But that's an excuse. And I wish that we would stop using age as an excuse to be pissy and not take information in.
Yeah, it's our survival mechanism though. That's what we're doing. We're retraining our brain because somehow we figured out as human beings that if we're being criticized, we're not surviving. And we have related our image to our survival. And so what happens is we don't have predatory animals chasing us. We don't have a Colombian drug lord running drugs by our house with pistols that we have to be on the lookout for. So our number one fear as human beings is not death by an assault rifle, is not somebody coming and stealing our land, is not the war in Ukraine. Our death as Americans is the death of our self-image. So as these kids sit here, their self-image is all they have to live by. And so when you're criticizing me, you're criticizing my image. And I need you to believe that that's not my image because I believe that's not my image. So I want my image to be what I say it is, not what you tell me it is. So we fight over our image, and our very survival is if my image doesn't look good, therefore I don't look good and I might as well kill myself. Where a 14-year-old kid from Colombia wouldn't understand what the hell we're talking about. He could take criticism. He would just listen. But we don't because we're Americans and all that matters is how we look. It doesn't matter because we don't have anything else to worry about. We worry more about a coffee stain on our shirt than we do about getting shot. We don't have to think about getting shot. We have to think about that coffee stain and what everybody's saying about us and how they're talking behind our back. And, oh, God, what are they going to think? And this is tough business for us. It's like traumatic. Remember, I farted when I was in 8th grade when I did a sit-up. I almost died that day. So again, that is more trauma for us. So this is traumatic. And then, so the way that you can do this and the way that you learn to do this, the way that I've had to learn, because the only criticism that I've received is from people that don't know me. I receive a lot from people who don't know me. I don't usually generally receive the criticism from people that, I'm not saying that I shouldn't be criticized from the people that know me. I'm just saying I don't get it from there. I get it from people that don't. And then I get it from parents. I used to get it from parents that weren't happy with me. So the only way I learned was to practice mindfulness. And the only way that you do that is if you sit in a room with people when they're criticizing you, you pay attention to how you feel. and you pay attention to your heart rate, you pay attention to all your defense mechanisms getting put up. And if you pay attention to those defense mechanisms going up, you can put them down. And so that's how you would learn to receive. You have to kind of prepare for it. When you're taken off guard, you won't even be able to prepare for it. You'll just fight back instantly. But if you get in the groove of doing it, and that's what this room, I'm trying to get this room to a place where these guys can do that with each other. And I don't have to be here.
And like what we've been learning is that, like, obviously not reacting to somebody's feedback is like the end goal, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But
well, actually taking it in.
Right, and taking it in and taking it into consideration if it's right, or just saying, oh, that's bullshit, whatever. But what we've really been working on is, like Kyle uses the term, we all use the term, how fast our shit gets hit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really how fast your shit gets hit, it's how fast can you get out of that position to where you're feeling the way that you're feeling at that time. So your shit gets hit, you're feeling a certain way, you're feeling in a reaction state, you're feeling like you want to punch somebody in the face or defensive or whatever. Now, you take that in, you take the breath, and through that, how fast can you get back out of that position and into the next position?
Yeah, I think he makes a good point, because it's not, you don't always receive it well in the moment. Mm-hmm. And the question of a person that is down for improvement, does that person then, after receiving that feedback and maybe not taking it good in the moment at all, maybe firing back, but does that person go congregate with themselves and really ponder what the people said and take it into consideration and really say, come back to that group and go, I get it, guys. I get it. No, I took what you said, and I'm very serious about getting down to the bottom of it, listening to it. And thank you, guys. I know I didn't receive it well, because that's another alternative of a way to take it. Now, the worst kind of thing is when that person goes back and gets in the meeting with themselves and they deliberate about the stupidity of other people. And they just sit in that and they build more resentments about how stupid everybody it is and how wrong everybody is. And then they go down the business of calibrating everybody else's behavior and looking through and remembering everything that everybody else does wrong. And they come back even more pissed off and resentful. Now, that's the sign of a lunatic. That's the sign of also somebody that will be high within the next couple of days, because we just can't take that as humans. So again, yeah. And again, you know, it's both of our jobs. It's our job to receive, and actually being a better receiver would make us a better giver, because we would have empathy and understanding how it feels when it's being given to you and you've taken it, and then you'd learn how you want to give it to someone else, and then you'd learn why and what motivates you to want to do that. And do you really want the person to be better, or do you want them to be worse? Does it make you a better person if they're worse? That might be true. People think that because doing the right thing long enough is hard. And to win out in that way, you got to shut up. And it's tough to pass your peers that way, because it's way quicker just to point out their failures. And it's way quicker just to do that under the guidance of I care. You know, way quicker just to say, yeah, I care about you deeply. Let's clean your closet or whatever, you know, nonsense. So again, it's a tough format because we're by nature, we're defensive and fake, and we're putting on a show, and we're all trying to get along, and we're trying to not ruffle feathers. And then at the same time, simultaneous thing, we're trying to live our truth and say our opinions and our judgments and not live alone with those and get it all out. And man, what a mess. I mean, it's a real mess. I'm trying to walk this landmines around people, and you know, so I end up going out on the deck and smoking a cigarette and talking to whoever will listen about whoever I just want to talk about. And that seems some type of, we got in that mode of some type, that's the way that we live. And people always say they don't live that way, but do you know anybody that doesn't live that way? Really? If you do know somebody that doesn't talk behind people's back and does that, then you got enormous respect for them, and they are a really well-rounded a person of growth and wisdom. I'd like to meet that person. But on the other hand, we all talk about people behind their back, and we all do this. And the trick is working on it and gaining power so I don't have to do that anymore. Being able to speak, not taking it all in and fucking trying to go to bed with it. I don't know how people do it some days. You know, I wake up in the middle of the night and I didn't say something to somebody that I should have said. I have to go wake them up. I can't live that way. But imagine if you did that all day at work and with your family and your friends, and then you went to bed with that. How do you sleep? I bet you get some of those sleeping pills. You get a little booze, you know, whatever you got to do. But then on the other hand, maybe all your stuff that you want to say is horse shit. Maybe that's true. Well, you got to say it first to figure out if it's horse shit. But if you start saying stuff and it like plays out to the audience like horse shit, guess what? It's horse shit. So now you got to be self-aware enough to know that a lot of your thoughts might be horse shit, but you still got to get them out. And then you realize they're horse shit and you have the humility to go, okay, well, I just had to say it. Feels better now, but I'm glad it wasn't true. And that's called humility. Getting the thoughts out just because you don't know if they're true or not. You just want to get them out and not have them to yourself. So it's a lot of work. Again, it's hard in this format for me. You know, I would have to show this to like somebody else and then they would criticize it. That's why I don't let Angie put it out on the internet. Just put it out privately. I don't want somebody criticizing what I have to say tonight. I don't want any feedback, you know? So I'm just as scared as you all. Maybe I'll yell and say they're full of shit, drive over to their house. Don't comment on my shit on Facebook. I'm coming over to your house. Whatever. So it's hard. Anyways, we could close it up. All I gotta say is the only thing I can say is this is going on here. And the reason this even came up is I had two or three different things that happened this week where a person told their truth at the wrong time. Whether they were drinking, angry, upset, and they waited. And then when a person tells the truth like that, you can see what's been bottled up. And it gets everywhere. And it's like a crime scene. Spills over. And so we have to learn to vent this stuff out slowly. So it's not like a big gas leak. You know, just kind of let some out. And being able to start more and more telling people our thoughts and our opinions and approach people and grab them and pull them aside. And ask questions and say things and do the work. And if you have thoughts about somebody, please go tell them. Don't tell someone else. Please do this work because this work will make you a better person. And it's probably the only way to be a better person because it's the only way that people will be able to judge you and you judge that and everything's getting judged and it's all put out there. And it's hard. It's scary, but that's it. You know, hey, all right, I got something to tell you. I got something I need to say to you. I got something that I feel about you. I got an opinion about what you said. All right, let's hear it. I can take it. I'm big. If I can't, then I'm small. And if I'm small, I need to work on it. So you need to tell me because my survival depends on it and my growth depends on it. And so does yours. And I need to tell you because your growth depends on it. And if you can't take it, then you're small. And that's every relationship of our life. Again, thank you all for coming. See you next Tuesday.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Good stuff.